All right, setting up for the windmill, we can use a kettlebell or we can use a dumbbell for this variation. And there are many different variations of this one. So this is going to be a little bit of a longer video, but the setup for this exercise is the same no matter what variation you're doing. From our standard position, you're going to stand with your feet about hip width apart, both feet pointed straight ahead, and then you're going to point both of your feet on about a 45-degree angle. Now, once my feet are in this position, whatever direction my feet are pointing, that side is going to be the hand that goes on the inside of my leg, and the other arm is going to be the one that goes overhead. This is our basic starting position, which we have two different variations that start from this position. The easier variation, and the one I have most people start with, is holding the weight in the bottom hand, still reaching our top hand up to the top. What we're going to do in the windmill is we're going to push our hips back, much like a deadlift, but on a slight angle, push our hips back, and then reach our weight towards the floor as we keep our eyes locked and fixed to that hand reaching up to the top, and then we come back up to the top. What this movement is working is our hip muscles, much like a deadlift is, but it's also working our obliques and our QL muscle, which are really important for core and spine stability. So again, when I'm hinging back, I do want to try and keep pushing my butt back into that stretch feeling as I get better with this movement. This is the easiest variation. If you have shoulder issues that make it hard to keep this top arm overhead, a simple solution is putting the back of your hand against your lower back, still keeping your eyes up as if your hand was there, and that should relieve a lot of the shoulder issues if you feel some tension there. Now, the harder variation, again, we set up the same way. So starting with my feet pointed straight, I'm going to point both the same direction. Whatever direction they're pointing, that arm goes at the bottom and my other arm goes at the top. What makes the harder variation harder is we're now going to hold the weight in the overhead position. So this is going to really require us to have better shoulder stability and force us to have to keep our balance a lot more while we reach to the same position and then come back up to the top. Now it's really important that we keep our eyes locked to that hand that's holding the weight, because that'll help you see what that weight is doing and help you adjust and keep your balance a little bit easier. With this variation, don't be super fast to try and do the overhead variation. If it really limits your ability to perform the movement correctly, there's nothing wrong with keeping the weight in the bottom hand and just working on trying to open up the upper body a little bit more. Once it's able to hold that weight overhead and you can do clean reps, then you can start working that variation.